As a 90s baby, I feel like I was destined to talk about the bottlenose dolphins, Delphinus tucatu. They've always been there, smiling from TV screens to performing in theme parks to gliding through our childhood imagination.
I'm busy now. You'll have to wait till the boys get out of school.
We can't play now, Flipper. Some other time.
Flipper wasn't just a show, it was a cultural phenomenon. Through the 1960s, the bottlenose dolphin became a symbol of intelligence, playfulness, and friendship. Behind those eyes lies a mind that is curious, emotional, and more like ours than we like to admit. They live in tight-knit pods that resemble families more than flocks. They greet each other with signature whistles and names unique to each individual. They help injured pod mates mourn their death and even show empathy towards humans in distress. Perhaps that's why we've always felt such an affinity with them. They mirror our best instincts. Unfortunately for these magnificent creatures, they're at the mercy of our worst instinct to capture and dominate, as we believe we are the top of the food chain and are entitled to take them from their home, keeping them in tanks, aquariums, and amusement parks. For decades, they've been our entertainers, trained to smile, leap, flip, and wave for fish. But documentaries like Blackfish peeled back the curtain, revealing the toll of confinement, shortened lives, stress, aggression, and trauma. As some countries move to ban dolphin shows, others like China are building more. It begs the questions: if we're learning empathy, why are we still repeating the same mistakes? They may perform tricks for applause, but they're doing it in a concrete tank that echoes like a prison, sometimes never seeing freedom. An observation researchers have made is a pod of bottlenose dolphins was seen passing around a pufferfish, gently mouthing them like a shared cigarette. The pufferfish release a neurotoxin in small doses, and the dolphins appear to enter a trance-like state, mesmerized by their reflection at the surface. Are they simply exploring their senses, or do they seek altered states of mind like us? That same curiosity led to one of the strangest scientific experiments of the 1960s. Funded by NASA, researcher Margaret Howe Lovett lived in a flooded house with a young dolphin named Peter. NASA believed that if we found a way to teach dolphins English and were able to communicate with them, we may be able to communicate with aliens. 3 dolphins were living in the dolphinarium: Peter, Pamela, and Sissy. However, Peter was singled out to live alone on the top deck with Margaret, while the other 2 stayed downstairs with scientist John C. Lilly. At one point, John had given Peter LSD, believing it might unlock a deeper connection. It didn't. Peter grew depressed. Another ethical concern was that it was assumed that Margaret and Peter were in love, taking their relationship to an intimate level where she would relieve him sexually in order to have him focus on the experiment. When the experiment ended, Peter was moved to a facility in Miami with little to no sunlight. Soon after he died, which Lilly described as a suicide. It raises the questions of animal research today. Can animals ever truly give consent? And if they can't, what does that mean for how we use them, breed them, or experiment on them? What began as a search of understanding became lessons of the limits of consent. Each year, in a small coastal town of Taiji, Japan, fishermen drive dolphins into a narrow cove using metal poles to create a sound wall. From above, the water looks calm, but beneath the surface, chaos unfolds. Fishermen drive the dolphins under plastic tarps out of sight. A sharp metal spike is forced into their necks just behind the blowhole, meant to sever the spinal cord instantly. Then a wooden plug is pushed into the wound to stop the water running red. Hidden cameras, however, showed the truth. Many dolphins thrash for minutes, suffocating in pain and panic. This method is described by animal welfare experts, fails to meet even the basic standards of humane killing. Further north in the Faroe Islands, the sea runs red again. In 2021, more than 1,400 bottlenose dolphins were killed in a single day, shocking even long-time whalers. These intelligent social beings are being slaughtered under the guise of tradition. Many women in the Faroe Islands also refuse to eat the meat that is given by these dolphins, as the mercury levels are too high for pregnancy, but that doesn't explain why they also refuse to hunt them. And yet not all encounters are marked by control. In Monkey Mia, Western Australia, wild dolphins have been visiting the shallows for generations, on their own terms. Park rangers feed only a few individuals, less than 10% of their diet daily. The rest come and go freely, curious about the people who wade into their water, as we are curious about them. At Tangalooma on Moreton Island, it's much the same. Dolphins appear at dusk, accepting small offerings, and then vanishing back into the deep. Perhaps this is how coexistence should look: contact and not captivity. For decades, dolphins have reflected who we are, our wonder, our arrogance, our need to connect. We've studied them, adored them, confined them, and even killed them. But maybe the real lesson here isn't teaching them our language or bending them to our will. Maybe it's listening and leaving the freedom of the ocean to them.